Minister, we have a very serious issue in relation to passports in this country and people accessing their passports. I want to put forward a number of solutions this evening. I hope maybe you'd work with us for them solutions to try and see. I suppose number one, it has to be an issue of staff, even though I know you said here earlier that there's more staff have to be taken on. I think also that the passport offices need to be fully reopened to the public again. Minister, I think that's a very important issue. People can solve a lot of their issues at the desk, and also the post offices need to be looked at, an area where foot flow can be increased in the post office, but it can do a lot more in relation to passports, and I think that's very important, especially in a time when we see post office like Goleen closing in the next few weeks. We need more foot flow into the post office. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Deputy. Thanks for the suggestions, by the way. I think that is very helpful. Since March of this year, the Passport Service has reduced the processing times, because I know you're primarily concerned about first-time passports, because that is the process that takes longer at the moment. Processing times for first-time applications have moved from 40 working days to 30 working days. This is a 25% reduction in processing times as a direct result of the substantial level of investment that my department has made in the Passport Service. It's important to note that the reduction in turnaround times for first-time applications took effect from the 19th of April. Only fully complete applications submitted on or after that date can be processed within 30 days. First-time passport applications do take longer to process than renewal applications, and there are a number of reasons for this. First-time applications are necessarily complex to process, since in many cases they are applications for Irish citizenship. The Passport Service must validate the true identity of the applicant and take measures to confirm the applicant's entitlement to Irish citizenship. It is the statutory responsibility of the Passport Service to protect the integrity of the Irish passport. Accordingly, a rigorous analysis process is in place to verify the identity and citizenship status of first-time applicants. In the case of first-time passport applications for children, the consent of guardians must also be thoroughly validated. Due to the intensive analysis and extra measures taken by the highly trained and experienced staff, first-time applications take 30 working days to process. There are currently 88,000 first-time online applications in the system. Of these, 57% are complete and being processed by the Passport Office. The other 43% require additional action by the applicant or their parent. This means that applicants need to submit required documentation, such as a witness guardian consent form or other, in order to progress the application. I strongly urge anyone who is considering travelling overseas this year, particularly families with young children, to check the validity of their passports before booking travel and to apply for their passports in plenty of time. Yep. But Deputy
we'll allow Deputy Collins.
Yeah, sorry, I'll come back on your suggestions.
Okay. And thank you for your reply. And I would like to, I don't throw the baby, as I say, out with the bathwater. I have to compliment your department. Been very helpful to myself and very difficult times with families and so forth. In the last number of years. But Minister, what has been done to ensure first-time passports are issued within a reasonable time frame? We have families who are given an estimated issue date. In turn, they decide to book their holiday, maybe a week later, only to be told after the estimated issue that there is an issue with the application in the first place. Surely this can be done at an earlier stage, not at the final stages. I had a family of 5 who were supposed to go on holidays last week. The baby's passport was supposed to be issued on the 5th of May. They found out on the 6th of May there was an issue. This meant they had to leave the baby at home. This is okay for that family because they had someone to take care of the baby, but it's not an ideal situation. It's a difficult situation, and we're pulling the hair out of our heads because we're spending the staff, my officer, obviously like every other politician, inundated with calls, but they're spending 45 minutes on a call waiting for a reply. It's not good enough in this day and age because it's holding up serious time issues. But mind my own time too.
Yeah, Deputy, we deal with literally tens of thousands of phone calls. I think so far this year the figure is about 90,000. I stand corrected on that, but just from memory I think it's about that. We've also set up an Oireachtas line. Again, we've dealt with thousands of calls there too. But I do take the Deputy's point. The issue of people applying for first-time passport for a child, getting a estimated a delivery date and then booking holidays and then finding that there's a problem with the application later on. We're trying to address that now by making sure that the clock doesn't start again after you correct your paperwork or give the extra information. Instead, we prioritise corrected applications now to be concluded within 15 days, as long as the new paperwork is actually correct. So we have changed that because of what Oireachtas members have said to me in terms of trying to improve the efficiency of that system. We're also trying to spot mistakes in applicants a lot earlier, or applications a lot earlier, so that people don't find out weeks after they've applied. So that is an area where we are improving turnaround times.
Thanks, Minister.
Appreciate that, Minister, and thank you. And look, as I said, the 45 minutes on the phone waiting is very difficult for, I wouldn't like to be the member staff doing this, pull the hair out of my head, but also we're in a situation where we're only allowed 5 queries. And that's another difficulty as such, because you could have 10 queries in a day, so you can only pick, and then it could be 10 the next day. You're always leaving, at the end of the week, leaving some few people that their issues can't be dealt with, and that's terribly unfair, Minister. And I would like, I would like to ask the Minister to ensure that the estimated issue time online tracker should actually be close to the date, not weeks later. We've been told in parliamentary questions that it's taken 10 days for a simple adult renewals, 15 days for complex or child renewals, 30 days for first-time applicants online. This was just not factual. If it was, there is no way I'd be here today talking about it. And again, I feel very strongly that the Passport Office should be open to the public. I mean, look, our banks are open, every other place is open and getting on business, so we need to have people... sorry?
Public desks are open.
Yeah, but you can go down now and pick up a passport like we did before for people who wish to help them. And all that was helpful, that we were able to keep the whole thing flowing freely. I know people who are on holidays, I suppose, or didn't have a holiday for 2 years, and there's a huge influx of people. As I say, I don't want to be over-criticising what's going on, because there's a big amount of work going on there, but it does need to be a little bit easier to access your passport, surely.
Yeah. Deputy, I would say, I mean, so far this year, we've issued 400,000 passports. You know, it's approaching 500,000 passports. And, you know, so what we're trying to do is put the most efficient system in place. So we have a system where 4,000 to 5,000 passports a day are going out to people. And if half of those were collecting them at the desk in the Passport Office, it would slow the system down considerably. So we have a system that works with An Post, where we have a constant throughput of passports, thousands by the thousand every day. Of course, if there's a passport that needs to be pulled out of the system because there's an intervention needed for whatever urgent reasons, and the whole point of limiting the representations to 5 per week is that we're trying to ensure that TDs focus on the genuine urgent cases, as opposed to just becoming effectively passport offices within constituency offices, which was the case for some Oireachtas members in the past, as everybody knows.
I think we all feel like we've run a passport office.
Yeah, so we're trying to get the system running by itself as efficiently as we can.
We need to move on.